So I'm the founder of VerraBox. I previously founded a website called completelynovel.com, which is an online publishing platform linking authors to publishing tools such as print-on-demand printing. But what I'm going to talk about today is kind of going to be in two phases. So the first is going to be about VerraBox and our personal take on books in browsers and how we are trying to make books accessible whilst maintaining their inherent value. And I think this follows on quite nicely from some of the earlier talks today. So some of Craig's comments on creating something simple, the discussions about books becoming part of a networked environment, and also those comments about being responsive to search engines and giving them what they want. And then the second part of the talk is going to be about, with the kind of thing that we've built, what that enables in terms of integration with the wider web and how you might do that. So, our aim. So VerraBox is a platform for delivering paid book content to the web. And our aim is to make accessing any part of a book as easy as accessing a web page. And so a kind of crude way of describing what we have is to say we have a YouTube for books with an iTunes purchasing model. So YouTube in the sense that content is streamed into a browser and that it's also embeddable within a widget on any other website. And iTunes in the sense that it's fractionalized purchasing and allowing for a much more flexible approach from the consumer. So pay-as-you-go books through a HTML5 reader. So I want you to imagine a scenario where you might be looking for some kind of content. You're not sure whether it's a book or any kind of content, but you happen to know that Alex McCaw is a particular expert at JavaScript web applications. So you search on Google. And what VerraBox enables is for the book to be indexed as a website. And you can click, and it takes you straight into the book. So this is our HTML5 book reader. It's very lightweight. And we stream our content into the reader, and you can scroll up and down. It's touch optimized, or you can jump using the arrows at the side. So basically very kind of similar to the reader experience that people are now used to. Now, what's nice is that within the book, there are internal links that I can click on, and if I'm interested in HTML5, I can click on chapter 3, and then this is where it takes me to a paid section of the book. And you can pay per page or per chapter. And if I clicked above the page, I'm asked to sign in with a social ID. I do that in a couple of clicks, and then the content is there behind that paid interface. And I can start reading immediately. And that's still all within the browser. And we have, as you'd also probably expect from other digital reading devices or software, we have a full text search within the book. You can search for a term that you're particularly interested in. We'll display the results within the chapters. And then if you like, you can click through, see a snippet of what's on that page or within that chapter. And again, go through to the reader and purchase that and see that fragment of content. So that's a basic overview of what the reader entails. And we're really pleased because we've had the website live for a little while we've been testing with publishers, but we're now fully available to the public. And we got covered by TechCrunch this morning in Europe, so a little while ago. And I just wanted to read you the first paragraph of that because I thought it was kind of quite funny, especially based on some of Brian's comments earlier. Persuading publishers to make their ebooks available to read over the web is probably quite a big ask. Persuading them to sell those ebooks on a pay-as-you-go basis, enabling readers to purchase specific pages or chapters of a book only, well, that's just crazy talk. Not so crazy, it seems, that one UK startup is taking a stab, and VerraBox launches its on-demand browser-based ebook service today. So these are the publishers who have content available now on VerraBox. So we've got a really broad range of content, from books on programming to business books, political books, science fiction anthologies, genre, and literary fiction. And we're really, really interested to find out how these different books perform on this pay-as-you-go model. And of course, because everything's on the web, we have WebLevel Analytics on all of these books. So hopefully we'll have some really interesting statistics to come back to you with very soon. So this is the what next bit of my talk. Taking this model of our approach to books in browsers, what does this enable in terms of integration? How can we integrate VerraBox with existing services to make content even more discoverable, and in doing so solve a variety of other problems? So the first level is basically kind of link-based. So on VerraBox, everything is addressable in terms of not just the book has a unique URL, but every page has a unique URL. And the benefits of this are that on social media, you can share everything to a really specific level. You can share links to specific pages, even if they're paid pages, and people will be able to buy just that section of the book. And also, because it's all web standard, all of these different social networks understand what our reader is giving them in terms of the links, and they can display metadata and images, etc., from the books. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, search engines can pick up on the content and display it. So the second level of integration is all about putting books into different applications and basically creating a mashup of VerraBox with something else. So at the simplest level of this, because we've got everything in a unique URL, we can put it in an iframe and embed it on any other website. So we give all of our users, each of the books come with an embed code, which any user can use to embed it like a YouTube video. And within that widget, you have all of the same functionality as you have in the full screen reader. So you can pay per page within the widget itself. And to encourage people to do this, to spread content and embed it, we give them a 25% affiliate cut. So it's actually an incentive for people to recommend content and even become kind of booksellers themselves if they're good at curating content together. And so if you've embedded a book on a page, why not go a little bit beyond that? So you can get the parent web page and the widget to talk to each other using our client-side API. So you need to have a little bit of knowledge to be able to do this in terms of web development. But it's actually pretty simple to create a mashup of paid content with other content or a different application. So as an example, perhaps I want to create a site which teaches people to program and use, program. So I might want to include some great books to help me do so, so I can actually embed the book on my web page. And if I want my pupils to be able to really easily navigate through the contents of the book, I might want to use the client-side API to pull the metadata out from the book and put it on the screen separately, so that when a user clicks on a content in that metadata, in that table of contents, for instance, that will talk to the reader and display the right page or the right chapter or whatever. And so you've got this kind of interaction between VerraBox and another application. And what's also nice is that the conversation can go the other way. So if a user is browsing through a book within the widget, that can also talk to the web page and tell it to pull up different information. So for example, there might be a comment stream associated with each individual chapter, and you could pull up, when you get to a certain chapter, the comment stream could change and show you those associated comments. So basically, you're kind of creating a solution to all those different user cases just by kind of mashing up these different applications. So this API is ready to use. So if you're interested in doing something along these lines using our reader, then do get in touch with us. And so I'll just go on to the next kind of level of integration, which is a bit more involved. So there's a limit to what you can do with the public information that we have on the client-side API. But we have a number of server-level APIs, which enable you to share book and user data between systems. So you can actually properly connect applications within this amazing content ecosystem that we have together. And this is kind of the part that when we were building VerraBox, we knew would probably be quite useful, but kind of thought, well, later down the line, we'll look into this. But actually, this is one of the things that a lot of the publishers we've been dealing with have been most interested in. And one of the use cases that's been really interesting for us has been with educational publishers. So they want to be able to maintain the user data and the purchase information themselves. And this is because they need something that's a little bit more complex. For example, their data set of their users might include details of the students which belong to certain schools, and then they've sold these schools access to certain titles that they have. So they have a kind of, they want to be able to have that user data to be able to match up different license agreements or whatever with particular schools. So what happens with one of our server-side APIs is that they can actually tell us which users should have access to which content, which is on the VerraBox system, and then we can serve it to them within a reader. So you could embed the VerraBox reader on a learning platform or any kind of other thing that's used by educational institutions. And the user would actually be logging in with a different user ID. To a user, it would feel like a seamless process that has been brought to them by the publisher or that publishing platform themselves. And it's kind of interesting because you've got all these options of, therefore, if you wanted to provide a subscription service, then you could do that on your on the other side. You can handle all of the subscription, and we'll just provide the content. But that's just kind of one example of the APIs we have. There are lots of others which involve user data or being able to find out what purchases the user already has from other websites, that kind of thing, if they're willing to share that information, so that, for example, rather than having to buy a book in a few different places, you can actually just buy it once and have access to it on other services. So that's pretty much it. As I say, get in touch with me, or Ollie is over there, and he deals with the technical side as well. Stand up, Ollie, so they can see you. So go and talk to him as well. And also, if you're a startup and you're coming to the London Book Fair, let me know, because I'm trying to kind of raise the profile of startups there a bit, and I figure like if we all run at them together, they won't be able to stop us. So do let me know. Thank you very much. I think I might have 1 minute for questions if anyone has any. Otherwise, I'll just go. Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, yes. At the moment, we don't. So the question was, do we have a way that an individual author can come and work with our system? And the answer is no. At the moment, we're just working with publishers. But that's mainly because the way we work with them is we take EPUB files, and we need the EPUB files to be really quite good. And so I think what we'd rather do is probably couple with a authoring platform that can output decent EPUB files and just link with them. Okay, I'll leave it to you.